Hi, my name is Ifani, and in this video we'll be discussing how to start export business in Nigeria. So we focus on export documents and procedures. Now, learning how to start an export business in Nigeria could be an opportunity that will open a new or another source of income for you. Okay? Export entrepreneurs have equipped themselves with skills on how to export goods from Nigeria to other countries while they get paid in foreign currency and any domination that you and your partner agreed on. So start an export business in Nigeria is an opportunity anyone can venture into, but it's highly recommended you learn before exporting because trading in international market it's more complicated than domestic trade. It's not all about maybe you got your website, you got everything, you were able to get a lead, like get a customer. At least you can get a customer for the first time, maybe the initial purchase trial order. But are you sure that the trial order will be enough to convince the client to come back again? How will that be possible? That's only when you can be able to make everything work perfect on his own side too, on his or her own side. So it's very important that you go for training. I recommend that. At least to perfect your way, maybe not after you've been able to do good website, do everything, are able to get a client, and you just have only the first transaction or nothing again comes in from the person. So you have to start looking for another person. That is not okay. So it's very important to pay attention to details and some of the specific information, especially on the import requirements and regulations. So you can check out this our export training that offers both online, where we develop time to do on the basics and the fundamentals of export business, food processing and packaging, and export and the digital marketing skills and strategies. Then the offline workshop where we do over 30 projects, practicals, project-based trainings that you equip yourself with some of the tangible things that you need to implement in your export business. Okay, so ready to know how to start export business, then you have to get familiar with the following export documents. Most international trade documents can be placed into the following categories. We have the commercial documents, the banking documents, the transportation and insurance documents, and the government formalities documents. So commercial documents, banking documents, transportation and insurance, and the government documents. In general, the purpose of all of them are to facilitate, control, and keep track of international cargo movement. Okay, we will discuss each of them in turn. All right, starting with commercial documents. Commercial documents are prepared by buyer and the seller for each order. So the importer and the exporter, the ones to be discussed here are as following. We have something like request for quotation, quotations, pro forma invoice, terms and condition of sales, purchase order, order acceptance and confirmation, sales contracts, commercial invoice. So the following are commercial documents, okay, which you will need and utilize during your export business. It's not compulsory that you will come across all of them. Depends on the importing country. It all depends on your buyer. It depends on your clients. What are they requesting from over there? There's a place they don't even need. They just need the pro forma invoice and the commercial invoice. That's all. All right. So, but this is just exactly the document you will be in contact in the area of commercial documents. Next one is the banking document. The process of paying and getting paid require relative few documents. Cash in advance, which is one of the best option, may be as simple as the importer sending the exporter a check or depositing it into exporter's bank account. It's really more complicated than filling out simple form to buy a bank draft or to order an email or a cable transfer. So there will be documents that you can use, especially when a letter of credit is involved. Like a letter of credit sale is somewhat more complex than other form of international payment. There are at least 4 documents involved in letter of credit. We have application for the letter of credit itself, Then advice of letter of credit which the exporter bank will tender to him or her. Then draft drawn on a bank for a payment. That is after the completion of the requirements. Okay. So the next one is transportation and insurance documents. The transportation document that will be mentioned in this section include we have the parking list, we have the delivery instruction to domestic carrier, the inland bill of landing, the dock receipts, insurance request and insurance certificate, shipper's letter of instructions, ocean bill of landing and the airway bill and booking request, arrival notice and the carrier certificate and release order. So these are documents categorized under transportation and insurance documents. And like we said earlier, most of them, most of some it's not that you must provide every of them in each export contract that you handle, but these are just the basic you need to provide. So it's better and important to get familiar with some of them, and that is one of the reasons the workshop training we really offer you much, because most of these documents you have to see them physical the way they are looking and the way they are represented and can be worked on. And with the help of your freight forwarder, you can always make a successful transactions. So these are some of the documents under transportation and insurance. So the next one is the government formalities, which is dependent on the government policy and the import regulations. Taking Nigeria for instance, Nigeria and the foreign government all over want to know which goods enters and leave their country. They need information which is provided by the document, both for statistical purposes and to facilitate control. A country can't limit import of certain goods or restrict export to certain countries unless it knows what is moving in and out. So the government really want to control what is coming into their country for safety, for product control, and for statistical purpose. They have so many reasons why they need all those things. So under government, so these are some of the requirements under categorized under government documents. The import license, that is foreign exchange authorization, that this will be provided and owned by importer of the product. Then you have to have the export license application validated license from NEPC, that is Nigeria Export Promotion Council. They're the one that offers such documentation. But before then, I only want to say something about this NEPC and registration of company and every other thing. If you attend the workshop, there are some ways you need to start export business. You can start export business as a small scale exporter. You can start with low capital. So you don't need to invest your money trying to do registration. You need to start first. I prefer start an export with a buyer than start an export with a product. When you start an export with a buyer, you do a kind of on-job training, on-job learning, where you can easily use his or her own formalities to adapt your business. So it's not really compulsory. You mustn't go and start registering, because most of the export training they always tell you go and register this, go NEPC, GSCA. You don't need all those things. You have to start first. The first step to successful export business is building a mega online presence, very optimized and responsive, targeted to specific audience with specific products. Then, at a long run, you will start to solidify your company, your export company. Of course, we offer mentorship. Even some of our past participants, they do use our company and ship their products. With even the freight forwarders, some of the freight forwarders, they have even all this export license and everything. So you don't really need to start trying to gain all these things. They are not necessary. I have my export certificate, but I know when I started using it. So it's not compulsory. You have to start. You need to pay this, pay that. Please, take that money together. Just pile it together. Go and open a very mega online presence, which is one of the major achievements you will gain from this export training. Inspection reports, that is to quarantine and every other one, NAFDAC, Minister of Health and rest of them. They will issue something commercial, special, and the consular invoice and the shippers export declaration. So these are the documents under government. So you notice that these documents are categorize them under commercial, way under transportation, under bank documents and government documents. So you can get familiar with all of them, and know the necessary one that is required that are required based on the country you want to export to. Okay. Now, NEPC certificate, we already say that is not really, you can get them, but you just have to start first. Nigeria government require all their exporters to be licensed or to apply for a license to make each shipment. That is why they control. That is the way they control what leaves the country and make sure that at least most of the foreign exchange is sent to the country. So NEPC is compulsory if you want to start exporting as with a company, but if you want to start investing on the other areas where you need to target customers first, then NEPC can come up later. CS can come up later. You can just use your name. Once you own a good domain, once you register a domain name, nobody has access to it except if it's expired and you couldn't be able to re-register it again. So you can always visit exportbusinesstraining.com to find out more about our trainings and our next upcoming workshop. It's really offer you much because we're going to deliberately do 30 real life projects. 10 projects on export business, 10 projects on food processing and packaging, 10 projects on digital marketing skills for exporters. So you really get much. So don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube video so you get updated, and each time